Have you been thinking about getting into Forex trading? Forex trading opens up a world of opportunity for those who know how to do it properly. You can experience financial freedom and reap tremendous rewards for your trading skills. Unfortunately, many programs make big promises and throw students into the trading market without the proper knowledge and expertise to succeed. Fortunately, there is a solution. Great White FX Academy is the best place to start your Forex trading journey with the tools, resources, and education necessary to help you thrive in the market. Great White FX is an online Forex training platform that provides technical training that will help you succeed. It is of the utmost importance to have a proper qualitative education to participate in Forex trading, and that is exactly what Great White FX focuses on. You can reach us on Facebook at Great White FX and Forex Educational Academy, on Instagram at Great White FX, on Twitter at Great White FX, or call us at 234-803-930-61888.
Good evening, all. Good evening. You're welcome to this market review for the 27th to 31st of July 2020 with Great White FX. So, welcome you all. Without wasting so much of your time, let's get down to what we have this week. So, as always, we're going to start with the fundamental calendar. So we start with the fundamental calendar for the week. If you all can hear me clearly, please type in yes. If you can hear me clearly and see my screen, please type in yes. If you all can hear me clearly and see my screen, please type in yes. Okay. So this week, let's start with the fundamental calendar for this week. So we have minor impact news Monday to Wednesday, but that's major impact. Sorry, major impact. But the high impact starts from Wednesday going into Thursday. Wednesday, 2:30 a.m. That's West African time. We have Australian CPI. That's we have two major news coming out. Then 3 p.m. Wednesday, we have pending home sale. Then we have on 7 p.m. Wednesday FOMC. This is very, very, very important. That's between 7 to 7:30. Then on Thursday, we have German prelim gross domestic product. Then we have 1:30 advanced gross domestic product for the US. And I think then on Friday, we have a card news. But this news on Wednesday, the FOMC, will set the tone for the week. That's what is going to set the tone for the week. So most times when there is an FOMC news, the dollar tends to be a little bit sluggish. So we have to bear that in mind coming into the new week. So that's out of the way. Let's get back to our business for today. So as always, we're going to start with the dollar index. So looking at the dollar index, if you look at the dollar index from the monthly view of the dollar index, there's this big range candle, as you can see. It has held 3 months worth of activity within its range. Well, it got broken on Friday. As you can see, it got broken on Friday. So now, and that level comes in at 94.65. So it's a very, very important level for the dollar index. Because now that price has broken it, most often than not, whenever there is a break, you need to see a retest of that structure. So actually confirm the break. That's what we have to be very, very much aware of. So if we go back now into our daily time frame, that level is coming in here. So on Monday or within the week, price for the dollar to remain bearish, price must not close back inside 94.65, 94.64. Price must not close back inside. It must not close back inside it. If it does, then that means we have a false break to the downside. Price must not close back inside 94.64. That's this level here. Because once price does that, we know we're looking at a false break. So what are the levels we're looking at on the dollar index? So I put in my levels. So if we look at, these are the levels we're looking at the dollar index. We have that major low here, 94.65. So if price runs back, as the price rallies back up to this place, sometimes it might go above it, but on the daily, it must not close back above it. It has to close back below it to confirm that it is a break. But if you see something like this within the week, price comes back here and here holds our support, then we might confirm a false break on the dollar index. Now, you know we're going to have FOMC news on Wednesday, so that will be a major driving force for the dollar. Because as you can see, if you look at the dollar index on the weekly, let me hide all this, has been moving down continuously. 1, 2, 3, 4 weeks of continuous down, no correction. But if you also watch to your left hand side, you have structure at this area, and you also have structure at this area. So I go back now to my 4-hour time frame. So what will your play on the dollar index be? You have two options. There's a weekly order block here, just like I pointed out here. Let's go to the weekly time frame. This level here, this structure here, price is almost at it. That's what you have down here. So should price spike below this previous week's low, that's last week's low, comes in here and starts moving lower, then you know we might be seeing price coming down to 93.81. That's where we might be seeing price moving further down to 93.81. That's where we might see price move down to. So if you ask me, I'll just say wait and see. That's just what I'll just advise. Wait to see what price does here. That will tell you if it is a false break or it's a proper break. That will be your first move. So that's it for the dollar index. Price is still very bearish. What we'll be looking for is price to confirm if the break at 94.65 is genuine. If it is genuine, then we might see further weakness on the dollar index, on the US dollar against other currencies. So if we look at the EURUSD, you can also see the same thing. This range, 1, 2, 3, was broken, I think was broken sometime within the week. This is a major decisive factor here. So if we move down now to our weekly time frame, we can see that the weekly chart has broken above that level. That's I think somewhere here. I'm coming. Let me note this level here. That's what level here? 1497. That's this level here. So you see price has broken above it. So now to confirm this break, that is here, there is a possibility that price may try to come back down to confirm the break. Because as you can see, the Euro USD broke its level 1, 2, 3, I think on Wednesday or Tuesday. It broke this level and didn't come back to retest it. So you can see the Euro USD broke its level before the dollar index did break its own. The dollar index broke its own level on Friday. The dollar index broke its level on Friday. So now, should the dollar index start to pull back to test this area, that might result in the euro pulling back to test this 1497 area. We might see the euro pull back to retest this 1497 area. So what are the levels you're working on? As you all know, you have this fib is on only the weekly candle. The fib is only on the weekly candle. So since we have a bullish Euro USD, as you can see, this is a weekly range. The weekly range for last week was almost 468 pips. So now this is the weekly high. Should price spike this weekly high and close back in on the 4-hour time frame, then we might see a correction down to this area. And within those corrections, we have some levels in here. Let me get rid of this. This level has been taken out. So our first level comes in at 1588, that's this area here. Then our second level comes in at 1545 to 1539, somewhere here. Then the last one comes in down here before this. So what you'll be watching on a Monday is to see what price does at this weekly high. That will give you an outlook of what you will expect on the Euro USD. So if price spikes here and closes back in on the 4-hour, then we might see a bit of a pullback to retest this area here, because there has been a major break. As you can see, there was a momentum candle, but there was no retest of the area. So we need to see price come back in down here. If price comes back down here and gives a very strong bullish setup, then we might see continuation on the Euro USD upside. So the next pair we're going to look at is the GBPUSD. So looking at the GBPUSD, if you look at it from the monthly, it still seems to be in a little, it looks bullish for now. It's bullish for now. A few pips from last month's high. It dropped down to your weekly. If you look at your weekly, you have a higher weekly close for last week. But the concern is this structure here. That's where price is at the moment. This structure here, and we have this high coming at 28.17. So you see this high is lining up with this structure at this end. So the question now is, how would one play this out on the weekly time frame? So as you can see, it's almost like a supply zone. It's a major supply zone from the weekly. So that's where price is heading into now. So the deal is, if you drop down to your 4-hour time frame, let me pull back my levels. The levels seem to be much, but they're not basically much. So that monthly high coming in at 2813 comes in here. So should price do something like this, spike here, and this area should hold, then we might see further movement. But should price spike here, come back, close back down, then you'll be seeing something like this continue down. So these are the possible setups you'll be waiting to see on the GBPUSD next week. So what will happen is what price does at this area on Monday, that is 1.2803 to 1.2830. So that will determine what might likely play out next week on the pound US dollar. But for now, it's still bullish. So even if that should happen, then you'll be looking for areas to go long. You'll be looking for support structures on this way up to go long. So that's it for the British pound. The next pair we're going to be looking at is gold. So looking at gold, gold has been very, very, very bullish. This is the next target, 1922. Will it turn from here? I can't see. But as you can see, it's been very, very bullish. So my view on it is to look for dips to buy. The deal with gold is, as long as this structure here holds on gold, gold still has some movement way to the upside. Still has some movement way to the upside. So how are you going to play gold into the coming week? This previous week high is going to be the deciding factor. Should gold play like this and come back to the week high, then you might see something like this. But should it something like this, then you might see a correction to any of these levels for the move higher. So that is the scenario on gold. That is the scenario on gold. For now, it's still very bullish. What you'll be looking for is opportunities to go long. You'll be looking for opportunities to go long on gold. For now, gold is still very, very bullish. So you just note all these levels. And those are possible areas I'll be looking at on gold to go long on into the coming week. So the next pair we're going to look at is the EURGBP. This pair is a little bit, it's not so straight. It's looking bullish, but it has a little bit of more like a range. This range high to this range low. That's where it is for the time being, sitting in between, as you can see. But if you look at this pair from the monthly view, you can see that price is above its monthly close price. As you can see, the monthly open price is above it. Price is above the monthly open price. So that is still slightly bullish. You can see price pull back and then moved higher. But if you come into it on the intraday, it is stuck between these two areas. So the question is, how are you going to play this moving on into an intraday chart? So, and if you notice, there's structure here, but price has been dancing in within that area. When you have price testing an area seriously, it means that there's a tendency that that area might give way. So how are we going to play this? Well, in my opinion, you just look for support structures to go long on this paper. But I'm still slightly not so convinced of its bullish move. But there is a tendency it might still spike to the upside. As you can see, there's structure at this area. So except it takes out this previous month's high at 0.9175, then we might not see any significant bullish move on this pair. So for now, it's at a resistance structure. If it starts to pull back, you can take the short position into any support structure. You have the weekly 50 coming in at 90.69. So that would be a good place to look to see if price will move. Then you can go long back into this structure. But for now, this pair is more like in a range. So you just need to find out the range high, which is around this area, and the range low, which is at the bottom. And the next pair we're going to be looking at is the GBPCHF. So the deal with this GBPCHF is, what I would explain is it is clearer on the weekly chart. There is a low here. Price broke below it and closed back above it. And that level is coming in at, what's the low on that level? 1.1730 here. And if you notice, price has been above that level. Let's go into the daily time frame. That's where price has been above here. 1.1730, somewhere here. So now, this is a trap move. There's already a bear trap move here. That's my little concern with this pair. Although it's looking very, very bearish, but this move here is what has me concerned. So most probably, I'll be very convinced of this bearish move once price goes below 1.1631. So if we go down to the 4-hour time frame and I put in my values, so you see that level here, this area here is where price has been having a little bit of support. So if you notice, it's more like in a range. So your range bottom is between 1747 to 1729. Then your range top is further up here. So at where price is, it's not a good position to take a short position, except you have a massive break like this. But if you don't see this, then you might just look for any of these patterns to go up to the long side on this pair. So that is just basically it for the GBPCHF. So for the GBPCHF, it's giving more like mixed signals, but I'm more tilted to the upside due to the trap move, to the bear trap. It's a bear trap on the weekly time frame. There's a bear trap on the weekly time frame. Price broke this low, but didn't stay below it, and it's now using it as support, which points to the fact that we might see a little bit of an upward movement. If that level, that is, if for 1730 is not broken to the downside, that's to retest this area then. Because what price might do, you might see something that price might move up, spike below this next low, that's 1633, then move up to the upside. So, but for now, this pair is still in a little bit of range. So you note your range and take the trades accordingly. So the next pair we're going to be looking at is the AUDUSD. So looking at the AUDUSD, I've been saying this for some time, that at the time price broke this high, it dropped, but it didn't go down as considerably as it would have if this was a false break. As you can see, price has moved back to the upside. So let me get rid of all these alerts that are put here so that I can actually work out on this chart. So I can explain one or two things. So if you look at this pair on the weekly, you can see there's structure here. You switch to your line chart, there's structure here, as you can see at this point. And you see price spiked into that level, and then price is pulling back. So now the question is, this high here at 70.63, price has tested it slightly on Friday. So this high has to hold as support for price to continue moving higher on the AUDUSD. So we're going to look into price on the 4-hour time frame, because that's a time frame where I can easily drop in the levels and it becomes easy for you guys to see. So if you look at that level I talked of, this is it here, 70.64, this is it here. Well, if you look at the AUDUSD on the 4-hour, it has a sort of a reversal pattern on the 4-hour. So the question now is, should price come up to 0.7125 and fail to move above, then we might see a deep test of this area. As you can see, should price come up here into this area and fail, as you can see, there's a range high, there's a range low. So if price comes in here and tests this area and fails to break above, then we might see a pullback to either of 70.34 to 70.24 area. But if you ask me, I'm of the opinion that should price close back below here, 70.32, then we might be looking at another false break setup. So as long as this 70.32 is not 70.64, 64.63. Let me get the proper high. Let me be sure. 70.64. As long as 70.64 price does not close back below it aggressively on the daily, then there is a tendency that the AUDUSD might still move higher. The next target might be 70.208. Then you have 72.93. So either of these highs might be the next target of the AUDUSD. So for now, this pair, there is a temporary top on the 4-hour time frame. That's what you have here. So if price rallies and doesn't make a high above this high, then we might see a bit of a deeper correction on this pair. So the next pair we're going to be looking at is the EURAUD. So looking at the EURAUD, it's still slightly on the downside, but on the monthly, there is structure here. As you can see, price has not been able to take out this particular structure here. So price is moving away from that structure. Then sorry, that was my hourly reminder. It's 9 o'clock. I'm 30 minutes into the lecture. So let me try and hurry up so that I can quickly post the video online for you guys to have access to. So if we look at the EURAUD on the weekly, there is a major range candle here. This bearish candle is a range candle, one. Then this bullish candle is another range candle. As you can see, price has not moved above either of their highs or lows. This one has held price for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 weeks. And this bullish has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 weeks. So you can see that this EURAUD is basically on a range setup. It's just basically on range setup. So, but it's still in a downtrend. That's just one thing you need to understand. And if you look at the setup here from the 4-hour time frame, there seems to have been a low here. Price broke below it, closed back above, and it's coming back to this point. So if we pull this back, these are the levels you'll be watching. You need to watch here. Price needs to stay above 64.04 for any substantial move higher. Once it closes back below this level on the 4-hour, then there's a tendency it might be coming into this place at 63.46 to 63.36. If this level fails at support, then the next level is coming in at 62.64 here. As you can see, this piece has acted as support. Price got rejected from here, broke below it, took out liquidity below this level and moved back to the upside. So basically, this pair is now back to its range top. So you wait to see if there is a bearish evidence here, then you might take a short trade to the downside. So the last pair we're going to be looking at is the New Zealand USD. So looking at the New Zealand USD, it's still slightly bullish. It's still slightly bullish. But this is where he is on the weekly. People say this is a supply structure here. As where price is basically on the monthly. Then if you drop down into your weekly time frame, you can still see the same thing here. Price is within this level, came very close to it, and it's a little bit of reaction on that level. So how do we trade this on the And if you look at the 4-hour time frame on this pair, you can already see equal highs here, slightly equal highs. You can already see the neckline here. So now this neckline will be what I would call the line in the sand into the coming week. So should price run up into this level and fail to close above here, then we might see a move back to this low. If this the weekly 50% fails to hold, then price is coming back down to this level. So we have a temporary top on the AUDUSD, Aussie dollar, and the New Zealand dollar. That is where we have temporary tops on, which are slightly bearish moves, which point to the fact that there might be corrections. But on the EURUSD and the British Pound USD, they're still looking very, very bullish. There is no temporary top on those pairs, and also gold. So is there any pair? Somebody is saying, somebody is asking, I don't know why you guys like this CHF JPY. I don't like it because it's what I would call two safe haven pairs. I don't know why you would want to trade two safe haven pairs. I don't know. The fact that it is being offered does not mean you should trade it. So let's just look at this pair. It's not a pair I trade, but I'll just briefly look at it. Why is there no data to this side? Let me choose another broker. So looking at this pair, it has a bullish bias. It has a bullish bias, but that bullish bias is into structure here. You can see structure is down here. The structure is down here. There's a bearish structure here. You see, it ran into it and paused below that structure. As you can see, all these highs here, they've been taken out. So let us also note all these highs. Then it dropped down to your 4-hour time frame. So if you look at the 4-hour time frame, price is reacting from this structure here. So the question you'll be asking yourself is, just wait to see what price does here. But already, if you ask me, this pair is still tilting to the upside. It's just still, this might just be a little, it ran into structure here and pulled back. When it pulled back, this support structure here held. As you can see, it didn't break. So you might see a retest of this level. If it comes in here and doesn't close back above, then price may drop. But in my view, this pair still has a bullish bias. As you can see, very, very long upper. They might retest this high. If they retest this high, if you ask me, the best bet is to wait for them to retest this high. If they test this high and fail, then you might see a short position. So let me look at Wall Street 30. Wall Street 30, if you look at it from the weekly, it's looking like it has a bullish bias. If you look at it from the weekly, it has a bullish bias, but it's a little bit of suspect. What you would see is only visible on the 1 hour. This is the structure that it ran into, 1, 2, and it started to drop. So for now, there is on the daily and the 4 hour, there is the possible correction on the US 30, that's Wall Street 30, down to 26.11 26115.4. There's a possibility price may come down to this structure here. But although there's a low here at 26.44.3, if this level holds, then price may move back up. But should this level fail, then you may see price come back down. Already, there's structure here. Here. And the 4 hour, there's structure here. Drop, base, drop. So if this level holds and price comes in here and fails to move higher, then you might see price come back down. And moreover, if you look at this pair, there's major structure here. So these are just areas you just need to watch to see what happens. Let me drop down to the 1 hour. So that's just what you have. Price is at the support structure. This is your first level of resistance, and the second level somewhere up. So that's it for today. Thank you all for taking your time to attend. If you have any questions, this is my Facebook handle. For those of you who are not on the Telegram group, you can always get the links to any of my Zoom meetings on my Facebook pages. If you have any questions, this is my Telegram, my Twitter handle, this is my Instagram handle, and my Telegram handle, Great White FX, and this is my phone number and my also WhatsApp number. The video you just watched will be posted on YouTube. If you like the video, subscribe and also click the like button after. So thank you all for taking your time to attend. I wish you all a blessed week ahead and a beautiful trading week. A beautiful night's sleep and a blessed trading week ahead. Thank you all for coming.